Nigeria is a very large country, and with the roads and the police stops, it makes driving very slow. We're at a point, we're at a crossroads, and we have a big decision to make. And the reason this is a big decision is because we have two bad options, and these options are options we've been considering since we began planning this journey all the way back in Spain.
It's been, I guess, maybe a couple of weeks since we updated our old-fashioned our generation map. The last time we left you, we had just crossed into Ghana, and we were sitting on the beach at a beautiful little beach resort with picnic tables parked right there. A beautiful, peaceful night. But we had to get back on the road. We followed the coast of Ghana through here, and we made it to our next campsite, which was the Blue Diamond Resort. Another beautiful place to stay. Curt hopped in the pool here. We had a nice dinner, rested a little bit, and then it was off to the city of Accra, the capital city of Ghana, where we had to get some of our visas. So we checked into a hotel and took care of that. After that, it was time to cross the border and go into Togo. All right, Curt had to stop me. He's right. I forgot a whole giant adventure. When we left Accra here, we did not do this. I got to do these map updates more often, guys. This is where we came up here and we saw those little monkeys that we got to feed bananas to. And it was beautiful.
We saw the baboons right there.
When we were driving down the road here, there were baboons, and we made it up here to the little monkey village. And then we kind of went through the mountains and followed a little road that's so small it doesn't show up on this map. We got down here and we crossed into Togo. Now Togo is where we messed up our visa dates, and we were stuck in this country for 3 days because we weren't allowed to go to Benin yet. So we stayed at that little beachfront hotel. Then we followed the coast and we headed to the capital of Benin, where again we stayed in a hotel because we had to check on the van's oil leak and brakes. We got that fixed up there.
And our battery was dead.
Yep, dead battery,
that.
Yep. And then we came up here through Porto Novo. We did not cross on this border. Instead, we crossed right here into the giant country of Nigeria, where we are now. And this is where we had the culture shock of police stops everywhere. We spent our first night here in what we call Traffic City. We don't know the actual name of it, but we made it to there. The next day was a really long drive, guys. We made it all the way down here to this city of, just outside of this city of Onitsha. And I'm going to mark that out. We had to kind of come down in here to Lagos, and then we got on this road and we kind of followed it like this. We bypassed Benin City, and then we drove into a little hotel campsite right there. And that brings us to where we are right now.
When we first entered into Nigeria, I gave you my first impression. And the word I gave you was intensity. I'm changing my word. My new word is intimidating. Nigeria is one intimidating place. From the time we got in here to the country, with all the police stops, with all the military checkpoints, with big guns, grenade launchers, spikes across the roads, tree limbs across the roads, and it's just too much sometimes. And Although we've been fortunate, most of them, once they see we're Americans or white people or whatever it is, or tourists, they end up smiling and waving us through. But sometimes they're very intimidating, brandishing their guns. And ahead, we can see car after car after car handing them bribes. It's intimidating. And as you approach the police stops, it's not an orderly line of cars. Every bus, every taxi, every tuk-tuk just widens from a single lane of traffic to 4 or 5 lanes, trying to jam their way in, passing. It's just chaotic. They push you out of their way. They blow their horn. It's intimidating. And it's not just the cars and taxis at the police stop. It's everywhere. Anytime traffic slows down, they try to pull up in your blind spot and cut you off, continuously blowing your horns. It's just intimidating. And it's not just the traffic, it's some of the people as well selling their wares. They charge the car, they yell, they scream. Sometimes they're trying to sell their products. Sometimes they're just asking you for money. Sometimes they bang on your window, they bang on the van. They just come at you. It's intimidating. When you get to a city, it's just all of a sudden a lot of people coming from everywhere, a lot of traffic, a lot of chaos. It just feels lawless. It feels intimidating. And sometimes it just makes you stop and pause and hold your breath. But it's not just that. It's also the roads. Sometimes you're on what is a good road and it just goes to hell in a second. Sometimes the potholes drop a foot, 18 inches. Sometimes the roads just get rough and crazy and rumble and tumble, and it is intimidating. And right now, we are getting whistled at and pulled off the road. And they are trying to intimidate us right now. How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Where are you going?
We're going to Cameroon.
Cameroon.
Yeah, we're from America, United States of America. We're tourists.
How do you fly to Cameroon? Are you taking by road or by water?
Oh no, we came by road from Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, Guinea, Sierra Leone.
Video protected.
Yeah. We go to South Africa. Yeah, we go. We're tourists. Thank you. Nigeria is a very large country, and with the roads and the police stops, it makes driving very slow. We're at a point, we're at a crossroads, and we have a big decision to make. And the reason this is a big decision is because we have two bad options, and these options are options we've been considering since we began planning this journey all the way back in Spain. Now, the first option, let's call this option A, is a border called Ikok. It's in the southern part of Nigeria and Cameroon. And to be honest with you, here from Onitsha, we're only a couple days drive, maybe even can reach it in one drive, so about 500 kilometers. It is definitely the closest border, but it has huge problems. There is a local conflict going on between rebels there.
On the Cameroon side.
On the Cameroon side.
In fact, when we were in Spain, this border wasn't even opened. They opened this border for the possibility of tourists to cross it when we were probably getting to Morocco.
It's an active war zone, guys.
Yeah.
Let us just, and we researched this, so let's just pause and read you some of the comments of some people who've crossed the Ikok border.
From a recent iOverlander post. Your passports will be photographed and kept overnight. You'll get them back the next morning. You must join a police convoy which departs between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. towards Buea, B-U-E-A. operating only on Saturdays and Wednesdays. You'll be taken to a police station in Ekok for the night. The next morning, you'll receive your passports and a briefing instructing you to get ready. The convoy consists of an armored military police vehicle leading, followed by 1 to 2 buses, with you driving behind them, and then another armored vehicle in the rear. The journey is fast, too fast, over rough roads. Inform the officers in advance that you can't exceed 80 kilometers per hour, and that you'll be driving slowly to prevent your car from damages. Upon arrival, likely after dark, be careful not to lose the convoy. If you do, as we did, due to the terrible traffic, go to the police headquarters and explain your situation. The armored vehicles are often unlit and drive aggressively, making them easy to lose. One should eventually show up to pick you up. Recommendation: get escorted out of Buea and into Limbe, even if you're tired and hungry and don't want to drive in the dark. We chose to stay, and at 2:30 a.m. we were physically attacked by the brigade general, drunk, and accompanied by 2 women. He hammered on our door, demanding our papers. We refused, unless he identified himself. He screamed aggressively, preventing us from retreating into the van, rammed his elbow into my chest, and forcefully held the sliding door open to stop us from locking it. We called the police, but they refused to help. He was their boss. His behavior was extremely violent and loud. He didn't even let us explain. He permanently shouted at us. Throughout the journey, you'll be constantly monitored by military and police. Stay calm, peaceful, and friendly. Any sign of unfriendliness is considered suspicious, and they will react aggressively. The police here are generally strict and harsh. Once in Limbe, you no longer need a convoy and can travel freely.
So that's option A. As you can see, not a great choice. Now the second option is crossing quite a bit north of there through the mountains. Now this will take us up through rural Nigeria and add about 3 days drive on these roads and through police stops. Now that's not the tough part. The tough part is once you get to the mountains, the roads start to erode and grow bad. And once you get up to the top of the mountains, there are no longer any signs of pavement. They are dirt, clay roads that go up and down through the biggest mountains of West Africa, the biggest mountains that border Nigeria and Cameroon. And the problem is when rain happens, that these roads get so slippery and there's ruts and there's washouts and there's ups and there's downs. And well, this is the infamous Mayo Banyo crossing. All the overlanders talk about this, and they take this option B frequently because either A is not open to tourists or because it's just simply too dangerous down there. And so this is another option, but these roads are terrible. Now, rainy season happens here, and we are pushing up on the edge of rainy season. And we've been talking to you guys about this since we came into Africa. This has been driving our schedule. The 3 weeks that we lost due to breakdowns with the van have really set us back. And there is forecast in the 10-day forecast for rain through this area. And so we have a big choice to make. Do we choose option A through an active military zone with police escorts where we'd have to race down these bumpy roads just to keep up? Or B, do we head up to the mountains where we have to climb up through the mountains and go through some of the most slipperiest, roughest, muddiest, craziest roads on this whole entire West Africa track? That's the decision we have to make.
We have about an hour.
And we have to make it now. after countless number of checkpoints. I mean, sometimes these things are 50 feet apart. I mean, literally, you pull through one and then you get immediately stopped at the next one. And we've been through those where there's 5 in a row. So our third day in Nigeria, we've been through a lot of checkpoints, and I've made some observations that I want to share with you. Maybe I've learned some things, maybe I'm making some wrong assumptions. I'll let you decide, or somebody who's from Nigeria, they can correct me if I'm wrong. But I did talk to a policeman. He was the security guard at the hotel we stayed at last night in the parking lot. And those guys were really cool and gracious. It was nice. We got to walk the cats and all that stuff. And, well, it was just a quiet night at the hotel. In any event, I was talking to the police officer about, well, the conditions of the roads and all the checkpoints. And he explained to me that policemen here don't make very much money at all. Now, I didn't get specific, but I do know it's a it's not a living wage. It's not very much. So I'm under the impression that a lot of these policemen, a lot of these police stops take it on themselves to sort of create a business for themselves where they can make additional money. And so you almost have to think about it as a local tax, because as these taxis and these collectivos come through here, they're loaded with people. I mean, some of these small little vans have 10, 12 people in them. The cars as well, with stuff loaded on top. And the police, I see a lot of them just hand the police money, like, I don't know, a small amount maybe, and then they let them through. And if they don't, they'll pull these guys over and pull all their stuff out of their cars and give them a quick shakedown. And then additionally, at all these stops, if you look, there are tons of vendors and kids and people and women and children selling snacks and drinks and everything under the sun. So it's almost like at each one of these checkpoints, at each one of these police stops, they create their own little kind of business enterprise. And you may be wondering why we don't get caught up in it. How come we don't have to pay bribes? I really believe it's a local thing. It's part of their local economy. And because we're tourists, we're passing through. Most of them are just, well, so far, all of them are just waving us through after talking to us. It's because we don't travel the roads every day. But the people who travel these roads every day, a lot of them, they have to pay the tax.
I think it says dirt crossover right here.
Do we go over there?
That's what it's telling us to do on the map.
I don't know if we can go over there.
That's what it's telling us.
How are you doing? Can we?
Your bank is open. The company did close it.
Oh, whoa!
It's an offense.
Nice.
Close it. Where are you going?
Where are we going?
Cameroon, but
We're going to Cameroon.
tonight.
Cameroon.
Yeah,
Gaboko tonight.
Gaboko. You know where Gaboko is?
You guys reach a point.
Should we go this road or that road? Which one's better?
Follow straight.
That
Okay.
one or this one?
Okay.
This one?
Go straight.
How do we get over there? That's
Where the semis go.
Thank you, man. You have a great day, man. Appreciate it.
I think you need to go where the where that truck is.
I'm gonna go right behind you.
Okay.
You're right. I am gonna. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. He's having my gas thing opens in a fraction.
Oh.
Video protected.
Woo!
At the start of this video, we were updating our old-fashioned paper map with you guys. We told you that today we had to make a big decision. There are only two ways to get from Nigeria to Cameroon as a tourist. And you'll remember one is going along the coast at Ikok, where you go through a very dangerous area and you have military escorts and you're only allowed to do it twice a week. The other is going up into the mountains, crossing at Banyo, or crossing to Banyo, which is a town in Cameroon, where we will have 3 days of very, very rough roads, adventurous roads. The reason we did all the upgrades to the van suspension and got the winch and all of that is because of those 3 days of driving. Well, we just did our final weather check. There is rain forecast on Tuesday and Wednesday, about a 50% chance each day. And rain will devastate the roads at Banos. But the fear of what some of the stories we've heard about the military escorts leaving you behind and being stuck by yourself in an unsafe, a truly unsafe part of the world. We've made our decision, haven't we, Curt?
Yeah, we're going north.
We're going up into the mountains. We're going to the Banyos crossing, and we will go in fully stocked up with water and groceries. We can make it 6 or 7 days if we're fully stocked. So if we have a day or two of rain and we got to stop and let the road dry, it'll be okay. We don't think it's going to be a lot of rain, and we don't think it's the beginning of rainy season yet. We think it's just forecast for some showers. But you can see we've turned and we're headed that way because we're driving through a mountainous region. The houses look a little different up through here. Hold on, Kurt's got to make a turn. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, he's going to go against traffic, which is okay here in Nigeria, we've learned.
Continue for 4 kilometers.
But the houses are different. Everything feels a little different here. I think it may actually already be cooling off a little bit as we head up into the mountain area. But we just went through a town. Sorry, I don't know the name of it. But we passed, I started filming because it was a beautiful canyon and some mountains. You could see down in there, and we went around a curve and it was the landfill. They are just dumping lots and lots of trash into this huge, beautiful canyon and burning it. It's the way they dispose of trash here in West Africa. And it's tough to see. You can't really get upset with them because they're just trying to do something with the trash. They don't have the means like we do in more developed countries, you know, for fancy landfills and getting rid of the garbage in a more environmentally safe way. But it doesn't make it any easier to see, does it, Curt?
Nah, just a lot of burning plastic.
Yeah, and you can see what it does to the air quality when you're in that area. There's just a haze over everything. So I think we still have a day and a half, maybe a little bit more of driving on normal bad roads before we get to the truly rough section. It's kind of cool right there. I'll put our door to the... I don't want to go in there.
Yeah, no.
It is about 12:30. We've gone about halfway. We have 177 kilometers left to go. But we kind of expect we're coming up on some bad roads because it takes a long time to do that drive. Or I should say some worse roads. But we stopped, we took a little lunch break, we opened the door for the kitties, got them some fresh grass to put in their grass cup, and we are back on the road and immediately greeted with another police stop.
How you doing?
Hello, sir.
Right.
I am white.
How
Yes.
you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm from the
Where,
United.
where are you going? Where are you going for now? Where are you going?
Video
We're going to
protected.
Cameroon. We're going to South Africa. We're going.
So, yeah.
We came from the United States of America, and we're visiting Africa, the whole continent.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
What's
so
your
much.
name, sir?
My name is Curt. What's your
You
name?
work with which company is this?
It's not a company. It's me and my wife traveling through Africa. We're tourists. We came to see your beautiful people
Thank you.
and
You're
your
welcome.
country.
You're welcome.
Thank
Oh, I
you.
love you.
Thank you for being
Video
kind to us.
protected.
We appreciate
Yes.
that. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Have a great day.
yes.
Thank
Very
you.
messy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anything.
All right.
Here, I'll give him 500.
Okay.
Will you move that stick?
I will remove it now.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. You
Have a good
one.
day. Safe journey, man.
You're welcome.
That's scary.
Here, put this out the window.
Whoa,
Oh,
hold
what's
on.
this? Hold on, guys.
Video protected.
Morning, sir. How are you today?
Hello.
That's a serious truck right there.
You're welcome.
Woo! You're serious.
I'm serious.
Woo-hoo! We're from the United States. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. I'm William.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Have a good day.
All right.
All right, sorry we got interrupted by yet another police stop. But we're driving through the mountains, more and more mountainy and valleys and gorges and stuff, and it's pretty. We come around the curve, and we're on a major road, and lots of vehicles through here. But all of a sudden, this big pipe, like huge barrier across the road, all the way across the road, that there is no way we could fit under. I mean, it was probably 8 feet high, maybe.
Like a lot of the little vans can fit under there, but like any semi truck or any loaded vehicle
No,
can't
can't
make it.
make it. But they have built like a small little dirt detour around the side. Locals probably built it. And we could fit through there, but we had to pay a friendly toll. And we didn't mind because the guy had to move a stick, and it was much better than turning around and figuring out another way to go.
And he was kind of cool and nice.
funny.
You know, we get approached so many times, like I say, like
Aggressive.
trying to aggressively or intimidate us. That guy was cool,
Yeah.
just like that.
And all we gave him was 200
Yeah, it
euros, which
wasn't
is
much.
maybe 50 cents. So anyway, but to come around and see that across the road, because you have to drive a little farther before you see the little side detour they built, we thought we were done, guys. We're gonna have to turn around, and that would have sucked. We are about 30 minutes from our hopeful campsite. We have two options in this town. A guest house, which is like a small hotel inside a gated wall. And then a church. So those are our two options. We hope out of those two, one of them works out. But it's been about 3 hours since we checked in with you guys. And it's been, oh, here we go, another one. A heck of a long day.
Thanks, man. Take care. Have a great day.
I'm gonna call that out of our first 3 days here in Nigeria, our 873rd thousandth police, military, or customs checkpoint. But we're fortunate, I believe, because we just get waved through once they see that we're obviously tourists. But the past 3 hours, we are going more and more rural, which means the roads are becoming more and more rough, not maintained quite as well. It's been a long day for Curt. He's drove the entire day today, and it's going to be about 9 hours by the time we're done.
Yeah, well, you guys are probably tired of hearing about the roads and the police checks, but to us, that is Nigeria. And we've been fortunate a lot of the day. We had good roads, which is why you didn't hear from us. But for about the last hour and a half, really, we got into a town, and we had some of the worst roads on our journey. They're similar to those roads in La Bay, where they're just 6 or 8 inches of dust on top, and underneath it's just rocky. So no matter how slow you go, it's just shaking and rocking and rolling the van, tossing you back and forth. And so just to go like a mile, it takes like 30 minutes. And of course, that's towards the end of the day. And although the roads have improved, you can't really brag about it because they're still just littered with deep potholes. Sometimes they go the full stretch of the road. Sometimes they don't. And of course, we're worn out from the police stops. So not really complaining, but just kind of trying to explain. This is, at least from our perspective, from what we've experienced, Nigeria, and it's hard. It wears on you, and it's difficult.
Yeah. Now, we did see a couple of cool things as we were coming in. We're getting into more and more, as I told you earlier, a mountainous region with lots of beautiful trees, and you can see out in the horizon, and it's pretty. But we've gone through lots of villages, and we're coming up on this new style of house, which I think we would have seen if we would have gone to northern Togo or northern Benin or eastern, whichever one you want to call it. But they're these little round huts. Some of them are square, but most of them are round. And they've got straw roofs, and they're small, and there will be a cluster of them. So I don't know if some of the kids live in one and the parents live in one, or if whole families live in each small one, because they're probably only between 6 to 10 feet in diameter. They're small little huts, but it's definitely a style we've come on in the past 30 minutes or so. So we are seeing some interesting stuff, and the culture has definitely changed a bit as we get out into the more rural parts here. But when you come to the small villages and small towns, it's all the same. All the markets and the tire repair shops and the mechanics right up next to the road. Goats, the butchers, the vegetables, everything.
Broken down semi-trucks.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of broken down vehicles and flipped over semi-trucks. And if you've been following the past few videos, you know they stack these semis so high and load them so heavy that I think it's fairly easy if they get a little tired and run off the road, or they get a flat tire, they're basically going to turn over. So it's been an interesting drive, but it has been a long afternoon, and hopefully when we get up here to our camp, one of them works out, because if not, I don't know what we'll do. Oh, lots and lots of road construction. So maybe if you want to drive through here in about 3 or 4 years, this road will be nice. Right, Curt?
Yeah, there has been a lot of road construction. And compared to some other regions, some other countries, it looks like it's actually phased and more organized, maybe even managed at the state level. I don't know how many different states we've crossed in Nigeria, but we have crossed through several. And to be honest with you, a lot of them have really organized big, huge work zones and work projects. So it's been fascinating to watch, but it'd be a lot more fascinating if they were already complete.
Yeah. So we'll see y'all in a few minutes. In 24 minutes, when we pull up at our campsite that I know is going to work out because we're beat. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!